Be with you. A proclamation from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Again, Jesus left the district of Tyre and went by way of Sidon to the Sea of Galilee, into the district of the Decapolis. And people brought to him a deaf man who had a speech impediment and begged him to lay his hand on them. He took him off away from the crowd by himself. He put his finger into the man's ears and, spitting, touched his tongue. Then he looked to heaven and groaned, and he said to him, "Ephphatha," that is, be opened. And immediately the man's ears were opened. His speech impediment was removed, and he spoke plainly. Jesus ordered them strictly not to tell anyone, but the more he ordered them, the more they proclaimed it. They were exceedingly astonished, and they said to one another, "He has done all things well. He makes the deaf hear and the mute speak." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
And some of you may know Father Dominic's mother passed away last Monday, and he's with his family now. We had the funeral on Friday. And they'll be doing the burial Wednesday next week in Cincinnati. And Father Dominic's with his family, and he'll be with them for the next few weeks. He'll most likely be back in the parish end of the month. But we want to keep him in prayers, and thank you for all your prayers for Father Dominic and his mother and his family on behalf of his mother. Eternal rest grant unto her, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon her. May she rest in peace. Amen. May her soul and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. May their faith be their consolation, and eternal life their hope. Beginning last week, we began reflecting on the letter of James, and I told you a story about a mother who caught her toddler swallowing coins, pennies, nickels, dimes off the nightstand, rushed the child to the hospital. The x-rayed, sure enough, there are coins in the child's stomach. Doctor's not worried. Don't worry, it'll pass. We'll just, observation, keep him okay. And the mother called the father. The husband came from work, rushed over, called on his way over and says, "Anything happening? Anything passed yet?" And the wife responded, "What? No change yet." Correct. No change yet. Get it? Okay. And so I've been wanted to talk, this message is for you, who that's your message, what's going on in your life right now. No change yet. Those of you who are stuck, whatever's going on in your life, whatever you wish was different, you're stuck. There's no change yet. You're waiting for that change. And the letter of James last week and the next few weeks will help us get unstuck, to help us to change. And I said that the first thing that James said is be doers of the word. That's the main message to you who are stuck, is be doers of the word. Not just thinkers of the word or hearers of the word or considering the word, but doers of the word. And that's hard to do. No doubt about it. If we could do it, then let's go home and do it. But it's hard to do. And so the intermediate step, the most fundamental step before we can do anything really, is to be doers of the word, is to join a what? Group. Join a group. Alcoholics Anonymous, I mentioned to you last week, is a group that has changed the lives of millions of lives have changed. Going back to the 1930s, when just a few people started getting together and talk about their alcoholism, their troubles with drinking, and sharing that and taking steps, not the actions, but 12 steps, not just 12 thoughts, but 12 steps, and doing it together. So there's accountability and wisdom and experience together in that group, changed lives. They could not do it on their own, but together they could change. There's power in groups. There's strength in numbers. You grow in groups. Go to the gym. If you want to get fit, you want to work out and look good, go to the gym. Not because they have weights, not because they have machines, but because they have people who are working out, people who are sweating, people trying to get a little better shape. There's power in groups. Being around people who want to get in better shape will help you get into better shape. It's really, really hard to do on your own. It's a little easier when you're in groups. So join a group that's going where you want to go. Join a group that's doing what you want to do. Basic principle of its human behavior. And as a church, we, of course, take that to heart. We want to get out of rows. Rows are good, but groups are better. Get out of rows and into circles. Get into circles through retreats. We have Christ in Jesus Parish Retreat. Through youth ministry, just get out of rows, get into circles. Get out of rows into circles. You're saved not in a cloud up in the sky, but in a crowd here below. You're saved in a crowd together. Pope Francis, finally, I mentioned last week, is coming to Philadelphia in a couple of weeks, and he's attending a conference on the families. It's no coincidence, but families, Pope Francis said, is a basic cell of society. It's a fundamental group through which God changes us. We learn God's ways as in the family. So we want to do everything we can to support the family, to build up our societies, and to be a people of change. To learn how to be part of a group, the basic, of course, being the family. So we want to strengthen the family, and as Pope Francis is coming in a couple weeks to this conference, and he'll talk to the U.S. Congress, talk to the United Nations as well. So the message to those of you who are stuck, the first thing to be doers of the word and get unstuck, to get past this no change yet, is to join a group. Join a group. Groups make you grow. We caught up? Does that sound okay? Say yes, Father. Yes, Father. Okay. So be doers of the word, James continues, and he tells us, show no partiality. And he's telling us, it gives an example of people rich come into your community, and you treat them different than someone who's poor, you're showing partiality. He says, show no partiality, treat everyone the same. But to get really unstuck, to really change, you do have to show partiality. Here's what I mean. You have to show partiality to the poor. To make the poor a priority. Make the poor a priority, and you will get unstuck. Make the poor a priority, and things will change. How does that happen, you ask? What does the poor have to do with changing, getting unstuck? Here's how. In the gospel, we heard Jesus heal a deaf man, and he healed him not by saying to him, you're healed. You know, the people asked him, no, go lay your hands on him, make it personal, put your hands on him. Jesus went up to him, did not lay his hands on this deaf man. He put his finger into the man's ears. And then he, spitting, touched his tongue. How do you like that? I need an example. I need a volunteer to show you how it works. Come on up. Yeah. It's in your face. It's way past our comfort zone. Fingers in your ear, spitting on your tongue, please. But then the man's ears were open, his speech impediment was removed, and he could speak plainly. He changed. He changed. Not because of anything he did, but what Jesus did. Jesus got in his face, and the man just stood there and took it. Probably didn't know what was going on, but took it, and his ears opened up, and his life changed. Jesus was in his face. Jesus also tells us, when I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. Naked, you clothed me. Sick, you visited me. Jesus is with the poor. Jesus is one with the poor. And if you're having a hard time finding Jesus in your life, you don't feel close to the Lord, you know how to get where the Lord is? Get close to him. Get with the poor. That's where Jesus is. With the hungry, the sick, the thirsty, the naked, the imprisoned. That's where the Lord is. And get with the poor, and they'll get in your face, and your life will change. You'll get unstuck. Things will move when you get with the poor. Make the poor a priority. Not to patronize them, not to show what a do-gooder you are, but simply become part of their lives, and let their life become a part of yours. Make the poor a priority, and things will change. God himself has emptied himself, leaving behind his glory and riches in heaven, becoming one with us through Jesus Christ, continuously telling us through the prophets to care for the poor, the widow, the orphan, the stranger, because God cares for them. God is partial to them, and so must his church be partial to the poor. It shouldn't be too hard to find poor people. Central Florida, 1 out of 4 children are growing up poor. The scandal of our poverty in our area is really a scandal. Our bishops tell us a basic moral test for our society is how we treat the most vulnerable in our midst. This is our bishop saying this. And they say Jesus takes the side of those most in need. And as followers of Christ, we are challenged to make a fundamental option for the poor, to speak for the voiceless, to defend the defenseless, to assess lifestyles, policies, and social institutions in terms of impact on the poor. God has made the poor a priority. The church is called to make the poor a priority, and you too. Not because it's a nice thing to do, but because of what we're called to do. And when you do it, your life will change. You'll get unstuck. Things will move. Make the poor a priority. And as a parish, we seek to do that. We seek to share God's blessings. They're not our blessings, they're God's blessing. We're simply stewards of His blessing. To share them, time, talent, and treasure. One way we want is have 500 members of our parish serve the community. Serve those who work with the poor. To help those agencies like Hope Helps or Crisis Pregnancy Centers. To help them who help the others. To put wind into their sails. And to be there for them. And to show and help them in any way we can. We're having a canned food drive in a couple of weeks. You can give canned goods, that's good, but even better is to help stock the shelves yourself. We're having a collection for our sister diocese in Dominican Republic in a couple of weeks, and that's good, but even better is to go there yourself, to adopt a family and to make it personal and let them get in your face. As a parish, we can help change lives, and when we do so, the Lord will change you. Be doers of the word, James tells us. Not just hearers only, not just thinking about it, but doing it, putting our faith in action. Be doers of the word. First, join a group. Join a group. Who's going where you want to go, where the Lord wants you to go. Join a group. And then make the poor a priority and watch what happens. Be doers of the word, and the word will change you.